Earlier in the year, I shared with you my entire credit card portfolio from 0 to 50. The focus of today's video will be to share all of the credit cards that are no longer in my collection, meaning which ones I've given the axe to. I'm Key, a points and miles enthusiast and travel lover. On my channel, I talk about the mistakes I've made, my future travel goals, and my credit training. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. 2012 was my starting line, if you want to call it that. I picked up my first credit card after I realized the importance of having credit. I couldn't get approved for a $99 per month car lease without the use of a cosigner. Shortly after I did get the car, I went to Capital One to see if they would give me a chance with a credit card. And they did, and this was the start of my credit journey. The cards I've acquired between 2012 and 2016, 2017 make up the foundation of my portfolio. And these are cards that either have a downgrade path to no annual fee or simply have no fee. I'm never going to cancel those foundational cards. Now, jumping ahead to 2017, this is really when I've got my first ultra premium or travel credit card, one with a high annual fee. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But also, this was the time I took personal finance, started watching more YouTube, reading blogs, etc., and ultimately just being comfortable, being uncomfortable. At least at first. I'll end this video with a quick peek into what's next as we look ahead into Q4 of 2024 and even beyond that. Some people like to call this their credit card roadmap. I like to call it my kind of re-engineering my process, right? My life is a lot different than it was in 2012 as well as 2017. So I need to reshape what that looks like and reflect where I am with my life today. So as I say in Toy Story, to infinity and beyond. Let's get started with the first card I've canceled. Before I dive into the first card, actually, I want to just show you how all of these slides are going to be made up. You'll see a picture of the card. I tried to find pictures that were reflective of what the card looked like at the time that I had it originally. I'll also share the number of days roughly that I had the card, as well as the opening and closure dates of these cards as well. So the American Express Platinum card, aka the vanilla. I remember this card as kind of like my follow the leader credit card. I definitely only picked it up because I was traveling for work at the time, and my coworkers kind of told me how expense reports worked using a personal credit card versus the corporate American Express card. They also introduced me to airport lounges. I held this card for close to 1,500 days, as you can see here on the slide. Over that time, I went to over 6 Centurion lounges in at least 2 continents. I upgraded my cheaply scalped LA Lakers tickets to the Centurion suites. I took advantage of the Fanatics Jersey Exchange insurance program. I saw a concert from the Barclays Center Centurion Suites, which are no longer available, but just so much more, right? And I already talked about the airport lounge experience and things like that. But yeah, this card just really, truly opened my eyes to. So, funny story, I kind of found out about churning back in 2016 because of this card. At the time, you could purchase gift cards from something called the United Gift Card Registry. Now, you can't do this in 2024 because they canceled the gift card registry, but you could purchase like an Amazon gift card, for example, or a Chipotle gift card, and it would actually code as United or travel, right? Incidental in this case. So I, every single year, was getting $200 Amazon gift cards, and that was making up my airline incidental fee. So that's kind of how I stumbled into this whole credit card hacking and credit card churning. During 2016, this card actually did have a $450 annual fee. And for that, I did receive a 100,000 membership rewards point sign-up bonus. I talk all about how I spent my first 100,000 American Express points on some really terrible things. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can learn the mistakes I made the hard way so you don't have to make the same ones. Going forward, I want to teach you the best ways of using these points, but definitely don't be like me. Check that video out after this. And Taylor Store card. I received this card after I was looking for some like professional work clothes for the first time, or one of the first few times of me buying them on my own. Um, this was only a store card. So the picture here, it didn't actually have a MasterCard logo. This was just the only one I could find online. Nevertheless, I could only use it at Ann Taylor, and I received it because I was buying like maybe 4 or 5 suits and some blouses and all that kind of stuff for work. And when I got to the register, the lady was like, you sign up today, you'll get some massive percentage off. I was planning to buy the clothes in cash anyways, using my debit card, I think. As soon as I made the purchase of my work clothes, I asked at the register if I could make a payment on the credit card. So I locked in that percentage off on the Ann Taylor store card, but then right away I made a payment to the credit card, bringing my balance down to zero. I don't think I ever shopped at Ann Taylor, at least to that extent, ever again. And ultimately in 2020, this card was closed due to inactivity. Just a general tip about your credit report and on-time payment history, um, is that even if you have a $0 balance month over month on a credit card, it's still going to show as on-time payments to the credit card company. This card I only used maybe 1 or 2 times, and for that duration it was on my credit report, it showed on-time payments. So next up is the Citi AA business card. I received 75,000 American Airlines miles after I completed the minimum spending here. And I was gardening my 524 status and just mixing in business cards to kind of prolong that, and just, making sure I was maximizing my spend. Um, because I was traveling for work, I also had American Airlines Platinum status, and I actually held status, I believe, until 2021, just due to the COVID pandemic and just American Airlines kind of extending status. Today, 2024, I no longer have status with American Airlines or any of the One World partners. So next up is the Barclays Advantage Aviator Business Mastercard. Um, this card's awesome, and let me tell you why. Even back in 2018, when I picked up this card, you only had to make a single purchase to receive 60,000 American Airlines miles. So, anytime I get one of these type of Barclays offers or any offers that just require a purchase or a series of purchases, I go to the dollar store and I get birthday cards, anniversary cards, etc. They're 50 cents each, and that's how I've met my minimum spending on this credit card. I don't often talk about purchasing airline miles and point and hotel points, but I think you can understand like making one purchase to receive 60,000 miles is definitely beneficial for a lot of folks. I did hear, or I did read something about maybe Citibank taking over the full American Airlines portfolio of credit cards and being the sole co-branded issuer. So maybe this is a card that I'll consider for 2024 just to get additional airline miles for American. This purple card was pretty cool. It was called the Starwood Preferred Guest Credit Card. And before SPG merged with Marriott, SPG was responsible for like hotels like the St. Regis, Westin, W, Aloft, those types of properties. And it was a separate program for Marriott at the time. So there's a whole bunch of rules now about how to obtain multiple Marriott cards. Stan, the Credit Frog, if you haven't checked out his channel, does a really good job explaining how to get these cards if that's something that you're interested in and you stay at a lot of Marriott. Before or at the same time the merger between SPG and Marriott was announced, I kind of went crazy applying for all of the Marriott, the Ritz, the SPG cards that I could get. A lot of folks in the credit card world and the points and miles kind of hobby assumed that the SPG points would convert over to Marriott, and they were definitely right. And on the Marriott side, they used to have what were called flights and nights packages. Essentially, you could trade your Marriott Bonvoy points or SPG points to Marriott points. into 5-night hotel and airline packages. So you would get a 5-night Marriott or SPG stay. And also you get over 100,000 airline miles of an airline of your choosing. It could have been United, JetBlue, American, Southwest, etc. Um, I took advantage of these packages, and man, I know they still exist on the Marriott side, but they're definitely not as lucrative. So SPG card held it for a little over a year. Since 2018, I've used 706,000 Delta Sky miles and a little over $670 in fees and taxes on Delta operated flights. Currently, my home airport, Delta, is the third most flown airline. And for those of you who haven't seen my channel before or know about my travel goals, in 2024, I plan to have at least one trip per month. And with that, this year, Delta's been getting a lot of my attention. I've regularly been getting upgrades, even for holding or even before I had status. And this is out of like the hubs, right? Like think Atlanta, think Minneapolis. I'll definitely consider keeping a Delta card in my portfolio for a while, or at least until these upgrades stop. In 2024, this is the only airline that I have status with, and it happens to be the lowest level status of Silver. All right, what do we have here? A repeat. Yes, even back in the day, I was getting multiples of the same credit card. So we have another City Advantage AA business card. And again, this was 75,000 American Airlines miles. These American Airlines miles came in handy as I was able to book an experience, my first ever time traveling first class on Cathay Pacific for 50,000 American Airlines miles and just $5.60. The Chase Inc. Business Cash Card. I believe I opened this card in branch at the same time that I was signing up for a business checking account for the $600 sign up bonus for that. At the time, the sign up bonus was 50,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points after spending $3,000. And I do believe this card also did have the 0% APR offer attached to it as well. The American Express Hilton Honors Business Card. This is the first card that I signed up for that I did not get a bonus, nor did I get the infamous pop-up. I don't even know if the Amex pop-up existed in 2018, but I am 100% confident I did not get one when I was signing up for this card. I missed out on 100,000 Hilton Honors points, and this is after I spent $5,000 to try and get that. Definitely disappointing. The way people talk about Amex today is not the same as we talked about it in 2018. And so, unfortunately, after I chatted with American Express, they hit me with like, the gaming language and all these other things that disqualified me from the bonus. So, I think that although it's frustrating in 2024 sometimes to get that pop up from American Express, honestly, I think they're kind of doing us a favor by at least telling us we're not eligible for the bonus before we do all the spend on the card. So be grateful. Also, this is probably around the time, I don't remember the date exactly, but I definitely lost my ability to refer my family and friends to my credit card. So that was sick. The highlight from that is, I guess, no more tax forms for me to fill out, but it did suck losing my ability to refer my friends and family. The American Express Marriott Bonvoy Business Card. I have in my notes that this card had no fee in year one. The sign up bonus was 75,000 Marriott points after I spent 5,000 in spend. And despite not getting the sign up bonus for the Hilton Honors business card, I actually did get the bonus for this Marriott card. So very weird. Just grateful I got the bonus. Last thing I'll say on this is the hotel certificate was 35,000 up to 35,000 points at the time. And when you were using your points at Marriott, all of the properties capped out at 60,000 Marriott points per night. So a little bit different than it is today. The American Airlines train was full steam ahead. I had yet another City American Airlines business credit card. Side note, the name of this card I've definitely been avoiding because it's so long. This name is the City A Advantage Business World Elite MasterCard. Dear any marketing people that are going to watch this video, why are the names to these credit cards so long? Just let me know. I'm curious. This card had a waived fee in year one, and I was traveling out of the Boston Logan Airport for some time. There actually is a United Club Lounge there. I was definitely able to make use of these one time lounge passes prior to boarding some of my work trips. So, super helpful. Two other things to note is this card. I don't remember when I downgraded it, but at some point, it definitely had to be at some point after the 365 days was up. But I actually kept access to the additional Saver Award space when searching for United operated flights. And I also was earning a boost when I was using the United Mileage X app. If you don't know anything about United and you live at a hub, definitely check out my guy, Call Me Lonnie. He is, in my opinion, Mr. United. So go ahead and check his channel out. Now, I closed this card a few months back because my new home airport has merely no United presence at all. So I haven't felt the need to accumulate any United miles in quite some time. In fact, my current balance is 350 United miles in my account. And yes, I did cancel a card with no annual fee. The American Express Premier Rewards Gold Card. Now, this is the OG Amex Gold. This is exactly what it looked like with the embossed numbers on the front here. There was no fee for the first year, and after the $2,000 of minimum spend, you received 50,000 membership rewards points. At some point, they added or excuse me, at some point, this card was discontinued and you were automatically converted to the American Express Gold Card as you know it today. And I was actually able to get 1 year of $100 airline incidental credits, as well as $120 of Uber, or maybe it was Grubhub, Uber or Grubhub credit. I can't remember. I don't have a gold card today. So whatever it was, I definitely made use of that. Woo! The City National Bank Krista Visa Infinite. I'm going to take some time on this card because this was my first major gold mine in the uh, credit card space. For the $400 annual fee, you receive the following: 3 points per dollar on basically every category that I was spending money on at the time. This was travel, gas, groceries, restaurants, and I'm sure there were more categories, but these are the ones that I could remember. Also got a priority pass with restaurant access. Next, because this was a Visa Infinite card, there used to be a discount air program. Let me explain to you how the Visa Infinite discount air program used to work. You could either book one way or round trip for two or more people and receive $100 off. So, what people were doing, what I was doing is booking flights, let's just say like on JetBlue or on a Spirit, or it genuinely doesn't matter. Anywhere there was a flight deal, you should definitely go ahead and book it on the card. Let's just say I found $100 flight from Boston to Florida. I would go ahead, book that for two people, and essentially on JetBlue, that flight became a buy one, get one free offer. So it would cost $200. The Visa Infinite program would knock off $100, whether that was a one way or a round trip. So you definitely should have been booking one ways. And yeah, you can see why that program doesn't exist anymore. And not only was it a part of the discount program, I don't even know how I could forget this, but you got up to 3 free authorized users. Now, let me go back to the big screen. 3 free authorized users. And each of those authorized users, including yourself, received a $250 airline incidental credit. So for those of you who aren't good at math, you got 4 $250 airline incidental credits for $400. You got $1,000 for 400. Now, I normally don't believe in effective annual fees, but this card is probably the reason why the term effective annual fee exists. So for $400, I got $100 off every time I was booking a flight for 2 or more people. I also got I held this card for 366 days. So I got $2,000 worth of airline incidental credits. I got access to Priority Pass, and I was wearing out the concierge. My guy Alejandro, I don't know if he still works there, but he was helping me book so many cool things. Um, but yeah, uh, this card was awesome and major gold mine. Always be looking. I know that people love to talk about, and even I, right? I like to talk about Capital One and Wells Fargo and US Bank and American Express and Chase. Be on the lookout for some of these other still very reputable banks that have some unique credit card offers. They're not always going to be talked about on the doctors of credits or the Reddit churning groups, or be on the lookout for not only these types of banks, but also these types of credit cards, right? That offer things not only for the primary cardholder, but for the authorized users. Since I don't know when they nerfed it, I think it was probably sometime that I got rid of it. Um, but yeah, this card was awesome. I'll go back to the slides now. I was nerding out about that one. Next up is the American Express Business Gold Rewards card. The card, as you see it on the screen here, is actually discontinued and it's now known as the Business Gold card. But back when I had this card in 2018, this card used to receive a 25% points rebate on flights booked on your selected airline or any business or first class flights booked on any airline through the American Express travel portal. It had a waived annual fee in the first year, and I did receive 50,000 uh, American Express membership rewards points after I completed the minimum spending. The American Express Platinum for Ameriprise Financial. Here's what I'm going to say is just take note of when I opened and when I closed this card. This card hasn't been available for signups in quite some time. And at the time in 2018, the first year, the annual fee was waived. So we're kind of now in the same time frame where you can take advantage of signing up for some of these types of credit cards that offer calendar year airline incidental credits or just other credits that maybe help tolerate that fee a little bit more for you. And what you're able to do is not only get it for this year, but then you're able to get it for the following year and sometimes even the year after, just depending on when you sign up for that card. So I like to sign up for these cards around the Thanksgiving time in the US, but you know, we're kind of approaching the time where it's pretty close with American Express where you can triple dip the credits that it offers. So again, the Ameriprise Platinum card no longer available for signups, but it did have a waived annual fee and it still got all of the credits. The airline incidentals, the SACs, the Uber, I don't know. I don't have a personal platinum card anymore, but all the credits, you were still able to capitalize on it with the waived annual fee. The American Express Green Card. This is a card I got just for the sign up bonus. And at the time, it was, I think, maybe either 50 years of being a card for American Express. So they came out with this new recycled version. Before it looked like, you know, just the old school one with the cards, the numbers embossed on the front. This was recycled out of ocean plastic. And when I signed up for the card, I got an away credit, lounge buddy credits, a clear credit, and I think the annual fee was around $150. So I don't believe in effective annual fees today, but this is one where it was a no-brainer to sign up for. I got 35,000 membership rewards points after I spent $1,000 in minimum spending. I received 25,000 Air Canada Aeroplan miles for $1,000 in minimum spending. This was a card that I was definitely planning to get multiples of, but TD Bank ultimately lost the relationship to issue co-branded cards to Chase. I have noted that my annual fee was waived in both year 1 and year 2. It was auto converted into the card you see on the screen offered by TD Bank. I ended up canceling that card in 2021. when the first annual fee came due. I hope that Wells Fargo adds them as a transfer partner in the future, and kind of let me know down in the comments. Would it be helpful if I had talked about how to use Aeroplan miles? And even for those folks that like staying in the US, let me know. Aeroplan, though, is transferable from basically all the currencies except for Citibank. At the time of signing up, I received 80,000 Delta Sky miles, a $100 statement credit, and a boost towards status. I did not have Delta status in 2019, so this really did nothing for me. But there definitely were some people that were able to obtain Delta Diamond just from holding and spending on these. The cards. American Express Blue Business Cash Card. At the time I signed up for this card, there was a 0% APR offer, and I had some large expenses coming up. Here's what I don't like about it and led to me canceling it in 2023 is that American Express is one of the few credit card programs that doesn't allow you to move cash back you earn on their cash back credit cards into their respective transferable currency. So what I'm talking about is Amex membership rewards points. I don't like that. I don't know why that's a thing. Basically, if you have this card or even some of their personal cash cards that they offer, you're only able to redeem the cash for statement credit. And while that's okay, that's just not what I'm personally going for in, completing a trip per month. I'd rather have the membership rewards points than the cash back. Next up is the Barclays JetBlue business card. I think I was preparing to get under 524 at this point. So business cards were still kind of on my agenda. I didn't have that difficult application experience with Barclays in 2020, nor have I ever, even more recently with my Wyndham Business Earner credit card. My application process was rather smooth, and I just had to answer some verification questions over the phone. It's been a while since I've had this card, and I did actually try to reapply for this card in 2023, but I actually was denied. I have only 676 JetBlue TrueBlue miles in my account today, so perhaps I will add this on my list of trying to get it again. I see that JetBlue is planning to have a ultra premium travel card launch sometime this year or maybe early next year. I may wait to see what that looks like. I don't have any interest, and my home airport currently does not have a JetBlue lounge, and there's no room for one, if I'm being honest. So I don't know if I'd get that ultra premium card. It just truly depends on the sign up bonus. But like I said, I only have about 600, 700 JetBlue miles in my account. So I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Did you know that Chase transfers 1-to-1 to Hyatt? I'm just kidding. I know you do that. I also have a travel goal of going to all of the Major League Baseball stadiums. I've gone to 29 out of 30 stadiums at the time of this recording. And despite traveling as frequently as I do, I know not as frequent as some people. That's okay. And more frequent than others. I actually have only stayed at 3 Hyatt properties in 2024. Those were the Hyatt Regency JFK Resorts World, the Hyatt Place St. Petersburg downtown, and the Hyatt Regency Orange County. Back in 2021, I was well over 524 still, but I had heard rumors that you could get past the 524 rule by applying for co-branded credit cards from Chase. I wanted to be my own data point, and I actually was automatically approved for the Hyatt card. Today in 2024, I only have 317 Hyatt points in my account. And like I said, Hyatt's just not everywhere that I've been traveling to. So until then, no need for me to circle back to this card. Next up is my Roth IRA card, aka the American Express Platinum card for Charles Schwab. At the time that I signed up for this card, the superpower was cashing out American Express membership rewards points with a 25% boost. So one membership rewards point was worth 1.25. You can see and probably imagine, right? I talked about all of the American Express cards that I had up to this point. you can kind of start to see how many points I may have had in my account. I had a little over a million American Express membership rewards points back in 2021. So I went ahead and cashed those out. And for the next couple years, I was able to max out my Roth IRA. And I actually started a brokerage account for the first time. So pretty cool. And thanks for all the people that used my referrals back in, I'll say 2017 to uh 2020, maybe 2019, before I lost my ability to refer people. My referral links for American Express are back. So if you are interested in American Express cards, help your girl out. Grab the link from down below in the description box. The Chase Amazon Prime Visa credit card. The sign up bonus was a gift card that I could use at Amazon or Whole Foods. And yes, I canceled it despite it being a $0 annual fee card, mostly because I didn't want to be overexposed to the number of Chase credit cards that I had. Earlier this year, I think I had 10 to 12 credit cards issued by Chase, and I had fallen under 524 and wanted to get a couple additional cards. So I made the decision to start canceling cards such as this one, the United, and some of the other cards that really just no longer had a place in my travel goals, travel portfolio. While I still regularly purchase things on Amazon, in 2024, I've pretty much been working on a sign up bonus for a new credit card um, every couple of months. So I've just been putting my Amazon spend on whichever card that I'm working on the sign up bonus for. Now that you've seen the 20 or so credit cards that I've had since being in the credit card game, I want to share with you how I've been able to be so organized. Since 2019, I've personally been utilizing Travel Freely, which is 100% free, to track all of my credit card signups, the sign up bonuses associated with them, to really just help me stay organized and keep track of how many points I've been earning. Travel Freely does not store any of your login information and doesn't even require you to log into any of your credit card accounts in order to use the service. That's what I personally like about it, as I'm getting more and more conscious about cybersecurity. You should definitely give Travel Freely a look. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I just wanted to share with you something that I've been using for some time that's really worked for me. If you don't want to use any service, even if it's free, grab a pen and paper and make sure you're keeping track of when you open these cards, just so you can kind of stay organized, understand how many annual fees you're paying, and making sure these cards are still worthwhile having in your own collection. I want to conclude this video by talking about my plan for 2024 and into the future. Definitely going to be re-engineering my process with credit cards and just my overall travel strategy. Um, as you know, I have over 50 cards in my portfolio, and really it expanded into two binders at this point. So it's time that I start eliminating cards that no longer make sense for my travel aspirations. Additionally, I do want to complete the Major League Baseball stadium tour that I've been on. And I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video as well. But I also want to start going to other types of events as well. Next thing I want to do as I look ahead into 2024 and beyond is think about what baseline of points it makes sense to have for some of the transferable currencies. I'm talking Wells Fargo, Citi, American Express, Bilt, and Chase. Oh, I almost forgot Chase. I want to make sure that I always have at least a set amount of points in each of these programs. So that way I don't have to worry about it. And I'll start then only getting cards when my points balances become below my acceptable limit. I mentioned this on I think either the American Airlines cards or the JetBlue cards, but it's probably about time that I circle back to some of these cards that I'd gotten and canceled back then and reapply, especially if my points balances are low. I'm thinking in particular, it may make sense for me to go back to Barclays and see if I can get that JetBlue credit card once more because my points balances are quite low. I typically travel on JetBlue maybe 3 times a year, so makes sense to have some points there. If not, though, if Barclays chooses to decline me for that card, I may just transfer my City Thank You points to JetBlue or even some of my Chase points. I know Chase points. I know. There's other uses besides Hyatt. Lastly, I'm definitely going to continue using travel freely into the future. I mentioned this is not a sponsored video. I genuinely just like the service that much, and I like it because I've been using it. Right. I have another video kind of explaining how to use travel freely. Be sure to check it out and evaluate if it's for you. Additionally, 2024 and beyond, I'm going to continue making YouTube videos and ultimately just documenting my experiences with things. One, because I want to get better at public speaking, but also two, I just want to share the information that I've acquired over these years with you to kind of expedite your learning history as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and let me know, were there any cards that I've canceled that maybe shocked or surprised you?